Hi there, all of you out there in pandemic land. How are you doing? I hope you're all staying well and well away from each other. My name is Bernie Lepke, and I have been given the somewhat daunting task of doing an MCI chapel for Good Friday. These are interesting times to be thinking about Easter, aren't they? What times we live in. I can no longer meet with my students in this classroom face to face. I'm reluctant to visit my parents, who are in their late 80s. I definitely will not visit my brother, who's undergoing chemo treatment for cancer. And I'm staying away from my own children and my grandson. And you all understand this, because you're doing the same kinds of things. In addition to this, a lot of people are having a lot of stress, worry, anxiety, and fear in these times. People worry about job loss and money. People are anxious about the spread of the virus. How long till we have a lot of cases in southern Manitoba? How long till we can safely walk the streets again? How long till a vaccine is available? Who will get it, and who will it hit the hardest? Will I get it? Will I die of it? So altogether, we have this sense of displacement in our lives. We're out of our routines and our comfort zones, and even our homes feel different, don't they? We can no longer invite people in like we used to. So on this Easter weekend, I'm trying to put all those feelings together with the Easter story and the experience Christ had. How did he feel as his death approached? He felt anxiety, he felt fear, he wished things were different. Of course, he experienced the same emotions and desires to live as we do. And then in addition to that, his friends abandoned him when he needed them most, when he was arrested and led off to be tried and executed. So it was horrible. So in the midst of all the things we're feeling, our dislocation and our fear, God gets it. God understands how we feel in times of stress. He suffered the same things we do and worse. So in this time of dislocation, can I see, for me the challenge is, can I see that God is always active in my life and always walking alongside me? That's one side of it. The other side is the question of how we respond to these things. How do we walk alongside each other, and especially with the vulnerable, in the ways that we can? I'd like to add my voice to those in previous chapels who encourage us to do that. We all have ways of doing that are at least 2 meters apart. Things like phone calls, emails, texts, and so on. Maybe dropping off some cinnamon buns if that can be done safely. On that note, I live south of Morden, Road 6 North, driveway 28061, just for information. The other thing this is pushing me to do is to pray for others more. Prayer is a difficult thing for me. My rational, self-reliant self keeps getting in the way. So how do I pray for a friend of mine who's a doctor in Madrid, Spain, which is maybe the worst place in the world to be right now in this pandemic? Or how do I pray for a friend closer to home who's left the church and who's become a staunch atheist? In fact, looking at his Facebook posts, I would almost call him an atheist missionary. Well, here's one suggestion I came across about praying for people. Mentally picture the person in whatever situation seems appropriate, and then picture Jesus sitting beside them, or walking beside them, maybe holding their hand, maybe giving them a hug, maybe crying with them. So for our doctor friend in Spain, I imagine Jesus walking the hospital hallways with her, maybe handing her a glass of water when she's been too busy to stop for a drink. And I picture Jesus in the room of a patient with her, putting a hand on her shoulder, saying something encouraging, and so on. Also, when I do that, I message her to let her know that I'm praying for her. For my atheist friend who knows all sorts of dislocation beyond this pandemic, I picture Jesus just sitting quietly beside him, listening to him, and sometimes giving him a hug. I haven't let him know that I'm praying for him yet. Maybe before I let him know, I would ask him if it's okay that I'm praying for him. But anyway, here's the challenge. If this kind of prayer works for you, I'd encourage you to use it. it's easier than trying to figure out what to tell God to do with or about a person. And then, if possible or appropriate, let the person know you're praying for them. And then maybe some cinnamon buns too. Anyway, have a happy and blessed Easter, everyone.